So there is another important subject that I need to clarify. Just, from my point of view, it's obvious, but I understand that for many people it's not so. Speak out loud, and no, not be afraid to, to waste people's time with obvious observations, because they are needed, they are required. So, very simply and concisely, the most important thing for me is to be freed, to be rescued from the state of Israel, me and my daughters. But of course, we cannot speak about my own salvation without, at least acknowledging, if not dealing with the situation of the foreigners, the Titans abroad, in Israel and abroad. Because there are many, mostly, if not, most of them are females, or females that pass as men, but as they say in the modern terminology regarding gender, but it doesn't really matter for our for the current context. I call them the foreigners, the Titans. Okay, so we need to speak about them as well, because their destiny and mine are intertwined because of many reasons. So we know that they are especially like to human Homo sapiens, especially like to enslave them in Western countries, because in the West, it is customary that homosexuals and pedophiles are abundant inside the intelligence communities and also in politics, and they need female slaves to for their games and plays, and also for their ordinary family life, which is also a play. Okay. So, during the last couple of years, I was, one of the, hypothetical, situation that I spoke about, without really, telling if it's something that belongs to the present, to the future, or to the past, because, we are all, this is another episode in a very long international theater, I will call it, as I've said many times before. So, the situation is, perhaps, of course, the Titans in Israel, are enslaved. It's a slave state. But what is this situation about? This is something that I've spoken about a lot, but I will do that very specific, very concisely. So, you could argue that, maybe other nations released their slaves, perhaps following, the disasters of one of the last chapters in our saga, or perhaps even today, for example. Maybe they fear asteroids or whatever, or they don't like the fact that all of 100% of the population is going to be infertile very soon. Perhaps, it's really unlikely, but just for listening to me, don't be silly. But maybe they maybe they don't like the concept of the end of humanity. So they, did a series of things that, are interpreted by mostly themselves, or could be interpreted by themselves as releasing the Titans. How do we know that this is not the case? And without passing moral judgment on the Titans themselves, and I said many times that they have right and wrong, and they have freedom of free will. Of course, they are subjugated, so it's very complicated. Slaves also have free will, and they need to be act as ethical creatures. But of course, judging them is very difficult, and it should be done by they should be freed. They should not be. Of course, slaves should not exist. But given the fact that they do exist, their judgment should be done by God itself, in the afterlife, because only God can know the circumstances of a person. When the person is a slave, it's much more difficult. But it doesn't say they are not, amoral creatures. They have morality, and they can do wrong like bad and good. So, without passing judgment on whatever the group they did, or any personal example, we can say that no, it cannot be the case that they were all released just not in Israel. It's impossible. It's impossible. You know why? According to my estimation, and this is very like after a lot of thought, like months of thought on the matter, and it's not, it doesn't come from divination or from like the guess, but it has several rationalization. There should be at a minimum, there should be like the minimum, the minimal order like of magnitude for, I mean, for the population size of the Titans on Earth currently is in the tens of thousands, which is to say this is the minimum. Perhaps it's much more than that, but it's not less than 10,000. And they are pretty much, I mean, distributed, I mean, all over the place, with some advantage, I mean, like a relative advantage to the West, again, because they covet them, again, because they are pedophiles and homosexuals. But they are spread. Like they're not, they do not exist only in one country, and they like in overall on Earth, the minimal, like, I mean, like order of magnitude is like in the 10,000, perhaps much more. So let's say about 10,000 Titans were released. Some are good, some are bad. I mean, many, I mean, live the life of slavery, and I mean, they have all sort of like, I mean, abnormal behaviors and psychological problems, and many like have fears, and many like like, I mean, fear that they will not have, that, I mean, they are occupied with material like concerns, like money, and perhaps, as I've speculated many times before, many are actually reincorporated into the intelligence communities like they do it in Israel, which is also a sin, but I don't want to get into it. But of course, I mean, many, I mean, it's for many reasons it's logical. It's probably the case that many are actually already incorporated or reincorporated inside the intelligence communities. I mean, before or after the so-called, I mean, emancipation event. But they were not freed. They were not released, because when we deal with 10,000 like sentient and like moral creatures, moral not in the way that it's good, but I mean that morality applies to them, that they can be good or bad. It's impossible that how 100% will be evil. At least one. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that at least one should, I mean, probably be righteous. No, I don't seek a righteous person. I mean, it should be like a normal human, like a normal person. Whatever normal. I mean, normal is difficult to, I mean, to define, especially when dealing with morality. But I would say is that at least one should not be acting like a complete, like a like predatory animal without disregard to like other like sentient beings. And if exists such just one, and of course, I mean, from probability point of view, there must be at least one like that. I mean, we expect her, probably her, because it's probably a woman, but I mean, that doesn't really matter. Let's say it's a woman, they expect her to do whatever she can to make contact with me. Maybe she can't free me from Israel. Maybe she doesn't have the power, but at least, I mean, come to see me, speak to me, I mean, acknowledge the fact that, I mean, I'm alive, and, I mean, say thank you. So you might say, what are you, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, this happens hundreds of times every day by using the, the intelligence channels. What you say happens every day. No. If you don't understand the difference between what I described and between what's happening, it's because the fact that you are alienated, all my listeners are alienated to their own humanity. No. I refer to a behavior which is not done anonymously and not without consequences. I see consequences. I do not know what the consequences will be. Perhaps, and certainly given the fact that I live in Israel under a Nazi regime, some consequences of such an occurrence could be negative from the realistic point of view of this hypothetical Titan. But it is wrong, not only morally, but I mean empirically wrong to say that the sentient creatures always seek like the principle of pleasure and do everything they can to avoid risk. It's, I mean, manifestly not true and should not be true. It's much more correct that, I mean, what guides them more than anything are social norms. Social norms. And if the current social norms everywhere around the world is that the nature of the Titans should, both like legally and also morally, should not be discussed openly, and should not leave any like trace of from empirical trace, written trace or recorded trace. And the people that are carrying the conversation should, this secret conversation should always not be circumstances should not be allowed to make them identifiable or related to the to the truths about the Titans. If this is the norm everywhere, to such an extent that not one of the at least 10,000 can actually arrive on Israel, or maybe I don't know, if not, I don't know, make a video call and tell me, yes, my name is this and that. I was, born at this place on, that date. I arrived on Israel or another place like that. I was enslaved until that day. And since then I'm free, and I support myself. Using inheritance money or using government allowance, or by acting like as an intelligence officer under the government, or washing dishes at the restaurant. And I would like to say thank you, because I know that you have helped me, like the process of me becoming free person. So thank you. I cannot do anything more than that, because, supposedly, because I live you live in Israel, and there is like a complete embargo for some reasons between our states, and I cannot even send you money. Sorry, but thank you, and that will be all. This is what I would expect to happen. And it's so trivial from my point of view, but from your point of view, whoever listened to me, it's almost impossible. You consider this such a course as a blasphemy, as something that cannot happen, like almost physically cannot happen. And this, but of course it can happen, but it's so alien to yourself, because it's rooted in your social norms that we, the foreigners, must not speak openly, and most of all, not on our own nature, in our own life. Our life is a life of secret and should remain secret from your point of view. And mostly, and even more than that, or